And the Azimio La Umoja protests have continued to elicit mixed reactions from organizations based in the country. The Law Society of Kenya and the crime Si Poa organization have separately spoken over the matter. Our reporter Whitney Akinyi brings us more.
In light to the recent weekly protests by the leaders and supporters of the Azimio La Umoja coalition and events surrounding the protest, the Law Society of Kenya says peaceful demos are enshrined in the constitution. Speaking at a press conference at the Law Society of Kenya headquarters in Nairobi, LSK President Eric Theuri echoed that it is the constitutional rights of the protesters to peacefully assemble, demonstrate, picket and present their petitions to the public in full security from the police.
The recurrent violations of the right to peaceful assembly have been spotlighted, including excessive use of force by police during protest, the failure to protect journalists who are covering the protest by the police, unlawful killings, failure by the police to use de-escalation tactics, arbitrary arrest, and the lack of accountability for these violations.
At the same time, Theuri addressed the attack on the Kenyatta's family's Northland farms on Monday, saying that the responsive action from the security forces were biased and are calling upon the police to give a statement in regards to the attack and response of the issue.
It is the duty of the police to provide security to all Kenyans, regardless of their political affiliations. The country is unsafe if the police chooses to engage in political activity, and we therefore demand a full statement from the Inspector General of Police as to the circumstances of these attacks and the response that was taken by the National Police Service to these incidences.
Meanwhile, the Crime Si Poa organization has condemned the violence witnessed during the Azimio La Umoja countrywide protest, reiterating that reports of police using disproportionate force in dispersing demonstrators only escalates the situation, violates the right to peaceful assembly, and undermines democracy and the rule of law. Addressing the press in Nairobi, Crime Si Poa Executive Director Peter Ouko also called upon all political leaders to refrain from using inflammatory language and instead focus on promoting dialogue and peaceful resolution to disputes.
I want to call out all rogue politicians across the divide who are spreading propaganda, propagating hate speech and incitement to violence, and in effect putting the country on a war footing to cease and desist. Their divisive rhetoric undermines the gains already made in promoting national cohesion and unity in the country. In the same vein, we want to call out all those Kenyans using social media to propagate tribal incitement, hate speech, and disinformation to act responsibly while on those platforms and put the interest and lives of Kenyans first.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Whitney Akinyi.